Hello, my Topaz mathematicians. I'm back here again with another lesson. This time we're talking about the distributive property, which we learned in today's lesson. We actually learned that we already know what the distributive property is, and we've actually been using it quite a lot with our area models for multiplication, that now we can use it in an algebraic method. So here I have the problem 3 times 74. Anytime I have a double-digit number, I'm going to put it up in the corner, and I'm going to break it apart. I'm going to write out my tens and my ones. Now, distributive means to pass out or to distribute something. We are going to distribute this single factor, and I'm going to put an S under it to remind ourselves that this is a single factor. First, start by writing your single factor next to a parentheses to show that you are multiplying what 70 plus 4 would be. Now I distribute that 3, so I'm going to put a box around this 3 and show myself distributing my 3. Now my new equation is 3 times 70. My plus sign goes between 3 times 4. I have now distributed my 3 out, and I will multiply each factor here, which are the add-ins to this problem. 3 times 7 is 21. And I'm multiplying by a 7D, so I add a 0 in the ones place. And now I multiply 3 times 4, which is a 12. To finish my equation, I add them together, and I get 222. I have now used the distributive property for multiplication in the algebraic method to show what 3 times 74 is. Let's look at another example, this time using the area model. I have 35 times 5. I'm going to start because I have a double digit. In my tens, I have a 30. I have 1 5, which equals 5. This is my single factor. I am now going to create an area model showing first my tens, plus my ones. Never forgetting that plus sign, because whatever we break apart, we must put back together. And now taking my single factor 5 and placing it on the side. As I did before, I put a box around my single factor and I distributed my 5. I will now multiply 5 times 30 and 5 times 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Because I'm multiplying in the tens, I have a 0 for my ones place. No, don't forget the addition sign. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Just like with my algebraic notation, I can now add together my two products to come up with a total. I have a 5 in the ones place, a 7 in the tens place, and a 1 in the hundreds place. Same problem. This time let's look at it as an algebraic expression. So I have 35 times 5. And that is now going to be the same as 5 times 30 times 5. 5 is my single factor, and I am going to distribute the 5 between the 30 and the 5. My new equation is now 5 times 30 plus 5 times 5. I notice that I have used the same numbers in both ways, both in algebraic notation and in the area model. I now come down to 150, which I already solved here. And then 5 times, there should be a times, a multiplication sign. 5 times 5 is 25. We add those together, and the answer will be the same, 175. This is the algebraic notation. And this is the place value or area model for multiplication of double digit times single digit using the distributive property. All right, my mathematicians, get a good night of sleep, and I will see you tomorrow.